Okay, so good day class. Our first topic in this subject is divisibility. So hindi na ako magpapatumpik-tumpik pa. Let's proceed to the definition of divisibility. So in this course, all numbers are integers unless otherwise specified. Thus, in the following definition, D, N, and K are integers. Okay, so alam niyo naman siguro kung ano yung integers. Okay, so ito yung mga whole numbers, positive and negative. Okay, so the number D divides number N if there exists K such that N is equal to K. Okay, so N divides D divides N if there exists K such that N is equal to D times K. So alternatively, pwede nyo sabing D is a divisor of N, pwede ding D is a factor of N, or pwede ding N is a multiple of D, or pwede ding D divides N. So this relationship between D and N is symbolized as D and then vertical line N. Okay, so this means that D divides N. Okay, so this symbol on the other hand, itong symbol na to, wait. Yung vertical ay meron na siyang slanting line. So this means that D does not divide N. So this means that D does not divide N. Okay. So the integer K is called the quotient from the division N by D. So diba we have N is equal to D times K. So when you divide N divided by D, so this K is called the quotient. Okay, so all factors of N which are neither 1 nor N is called proper or non-trivial factors. So for example, meron kang N, so diba every N meron talagang factors. So yung factors na hindi equal to N at saka hindi equal to 1, those are the proper or non-trivial factors, while the factors 1 and N are called the trivial factors of integer N. Okay, so in case of prime numbers, yung factors niya ay 1 at saka itself lang. So prime numbers have no proper non-trivial factors. Okay. So we also have properties of divisibility with the following theorem. So proceed na tayo sa properties ng divisibility. Okay? So number 1, D divides 0. So this is for all D. So lahat ng number pwede nilang ma-divide yung 0. So for example, 0 divided by 3, 0 divided by 100, 0 divided by 1 million. So D divides 0 for any D. Number 2, if 0 divides N, this means that N is equal to 0. Diba we have N is equal to D times K. So when you say 0 divides N, meaning D is equal to 0. So when D is equal to 0, ang mangyayari, 0 times K is equal to 0. So N is equal to 0. So kaya this is the conclusion. Okay. Okay, so number 3, 1 divides N. So any number is divisible by 1. This is for all N. Number 4, N divides N. So this is the reflexive property for divisibility. So number 5, if n divides 1, it follows that either n is equal to 1 or n is equal to negative 1. So dalawa lang yung divisor ng 1 or negative 1 lang. Okay, number 6, d divides n. If d divides n and n divides m, it follows that d divides m. So this is called the transitive property. Okay. Number 7, if d divides n, it follows that d divides a times n for any integers a. If, for example, 4 divides 8, so meaning 4 divides 8 times 3, which is equal to 24. So, yun yung property number 7. Property number 8, if d divides n and d divides m, it follows that d divides an plus bm. Okay, so this is linearity of divisibility. Okay. Number 9, if both d and n are positive and d divides n, then d is less than or equal to n. So this is comparison. Okay, so sa mga positive numbers, for example, if yung isa is a divisor of the other, so meaning yung divisor ay mas maliit pa talaga kaysa sa yung multiple. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng property number 9. So, property number 10, if d divides a, d divides b, and a is equal to b plus c, it follows that d divides c. So, this is integration property of divisibility. For example, d divides a at d divides b. So, if a is equal to b plus c, yung a mo is magiging, yung c mo is magiging a minus b. Diba? For example, d divides a and d divides b. So, meaning, if a is equal to b plus c, so meaning c is equal to a minus b. Okay? So, since d divides a and d divides b by linearity, so we have d divides a minus b, which is equal to c. So, meaning d divides c. So, that is property number 10. Okay? So, these are just basic properties of divisibility that you should know. Okay, so we also have some basic concepts that I'm sure most of you already familiar with. For example, even numbers. So, even if n is divisible by 2, then we say that it is even. Otherwise, it is odd. So, yun lang yung additional definition natin. Okay? Okay, so yan muna ang basic concepts natin, class. So since this is number theory, from the word theory, expect that marami tayong proving na gagawin natin. Okay? So for example, Okay, so for example, let x and y be integers. Okay. Prove that 17 divides 2x plus 3y if and only if 17 divides 9x plus 5y. So we have an if and only if statement. So ibig sabihin nito, you have to prove the statement in both direction. In this case, meron tayong 17 divides 2x plus 3y if and only if 17 divides 9x plus 5y. So actually, this is a statement na combination ng dalawang if and then. So yung una, if 17 divides 2x plus 3y, then 17 divides 9x plus 5y. At saka yung pangalawa, if 17 divides 9x plus 5y, then 17 divides 2x plus 3y. So, yun yung ipoprove mo. Okay? So, okay, so proof. So, dito muna tayo sa ganitong direction. So, assume that 17 divides 2x plus 3y. So, yung ipoprove natin is 17 divides 9x plus 5y. Okay? So, i-assume natin na 17 divides 2x plus 3y. Okay, so note that if 17 divides 2x plus 3y, then 17 also divides 13 times 2x plus 3y. Anong property to? This is multiplicative property. Diba? Multiplicative property ng divisibility. Pero itong 13 times 2x plus 3y, sorry. Itong 13 times 2x plus 3y, this is equal to 26x plus 39y. Okay. And then, this is equal to, so diba yung 26x, this is equal to 17x plus 9x. At saka yung 39y naman, equal siya sa 34y plus 5y. Okay, so, regroup lang natin 17x plus 34y plus 9x plus 5y. So, this is equal to 17 times x plus 2y. So, finactor natin yung 17 sa 17x plus 34y plus 9x plus 5y. So, ibig sabihin, 17 also divides. Ibig sabihin ito, 17 also divides 17 times 2x plus 2y plus 9x plus 5y. Clearly, ito, divisible by 17 ito, di ba? So, ibig sabihin, ito din ay divisible by 17. So, by integration property. So, meaning, 17, so, therefore, 17 divides 9x plus 5y. So, na-prove na natin yung ganitong direction. What about yung ganitong direction? So, i-assume natin na 17 divides 9x plus 5y at saka i-prove naman natin na yung 17 is divides 2x plus 3y. Okay? So, assume that 17 divides 9x plus 5y. So, by multiplicative property, 17 also divides 4 times 9x plus 5y by multiplicative property. So, ano yung 4 times 9x plus 5y? This is equal to 36x plus 20y. Okay, so, ano yung 36x? Yung 36x natin ay equal siya sa 34x plus 2x. Tsaka yung 20y natin equal siya sa 17y plus 3y. So, if you regroup the expression, so we have 34x plus 17y plus 2x plus 3y. Okay, so factor out 17. So we have 17 times 2x plus y plus 2x plus 3y. Okay. So meaning, di ba 17 17 divides 4 times 9x plus 5y. So this means that 17 also divides 17 times 2x plus y plus 2x plus 3y. So, since this is divisible by 17, this expression here is also divisible by 17. So, this is by integration property. So, we have 17 divides 2x plus 3y. Okay, so therefore, ang conclusion natin is 17 divides 2x plus 3y if and only if 17 divides 9x plus 5y. So therefore, 17 divides 2x plus 3y if and only if 17 divides 9x plus 5y.